welcome back to Girls to Women.
My best friend, she a real bad bitch, got her own money. She don't need no nigga on the dance floor. She had 2-3 drinks, now she's working. She throw it out and come back in. That's my best friend.
Okay.
We was a bit goofy on our last episode.
Yeah, but like this is a really deep one.
Yeah.
And I feel like we might maybe not have the amount of time to go through it, but we'll start on it anyway.
Okay. It could be a part 2, pending.
Maybe part 1.
Yeah, part 1.
This is essentially why you don't love yourself.
Oof.
I had a coaching session today with one of my clients, and she was like, I really want to work on the insecurity that I have with this other closer coming on the account.
Oh.
And I was like, you're not insecure because there's another closer. She's like, what? I was like, let's talk about it. Like, it's not even the love that you didn't get from your dad.
Oh.
She was like,
whoa.
and I was like, it's because you don't know how to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
She was like,
yeah.
Okay.
You're like, mic drop.
Right? But this is such a real thing that a lot of us struggle with and are not even aware of.
I know.
Right? We don't have standards or boundaries. We don't even know what our values are. So we walk around attracting people into our lives that mirror the fact that we don't love ourselves.
And it's not just relationships, right? It's in the workplace, in your personal life, with your family, with your friends, and with your loved ones. Like, it's actually crazy when you think about it. To not even have that awareness of how you're actually feeling and what work you need to do would be really sad to live that life every single day. Oh, I mean, I did it. I did it for so long.
I did it as well.
And I continue to do it sometimes. And in little moments of doubt, it's really hard. You got to pull yourself out.
But you catch yourself,
yeah.
Right? So that's you gathering that micro evidence of like, okay, I've shifted to like a new timeline. I've shifted to this new identity.
Yeah.
You can fall into the old frequency really easily, but if you catch yourself and you challenge yourself, you keep shifting back into the higher frequency.
Yeah.
But it is such like a suffocating moment, I will say, when you actually realize, oh my God, I've been chasing love and seeking external validation from parents, friends, partners, my boss, because I don't know how to validate and love myself.
So crazy, isn't it?
Right?
Like our whole lives.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like, well, how do you begin to even know that you don't love yourself? Well, something that's really easy to do is to look around at your life.
So true.
If you don't love your life, that is a direct reflection of you not loving yourself.
Yeah, like it usually will come, like your pivotal moment of like actually changing, right? Which is the hardest part. At like a very low point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
you have to hit your rock bottom.
Exactly. That for me personally, that's what happened. Like I lost all of my friends. I had moved. I was in like a shitty relationship with someone who was like honestly so toxic, and bad things just kept continuously happening in my life. I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I just honestly felt like I didn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And it's in those moments where you're like, surely there's something else.
Something
like
more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it was like when I was like, right, I'm just going to go sober and just completely change my life. That's when everything started to change. And good things came to me. Good people came to me. Good jobs came to me. But before that moment, I was so unaware that I was just living life thinking that I was stuck in constant toxic cycles.
Yeah.
I got diagnosed with BPD because my life kept changing.
Yep.
Even though I don't know, but I don't think I have BPD. No.
There's like the other one, Veronica says I might. But Sally says I might.
And I looked, I only have like 10 people in my head at one time. But yeah, no, I like just thought that was just me. And I was just I just had a problem.
Yeah.
Right. But in reality, it was just like a severe lack of self-love.
Yeah. But then it's funny because it is you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, there's no one else that's coming to save you.
Yeah.
No one else that's coming to fill up your cup the way that you want them to.
Yeah.
There is no parent or partner or child that can fill the void of you abandoning yourself.
It's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think so many of us try and band-aid with those things.
Oh, the band-aid.
Until we realize that it's a band-aid.
Yeah, it really is.
And
yeah.
so then that's when you see people turn to substances. Then to numb instead of going into the pain.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, well, now I know that I don't love myself. What next?
Yeah.
Right? So this is a question that I get a lot from my students. They're like, well, I know. I have the awareness now.
It's good. That's the first step.
But what next?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't talk about like the inspired action that you need to take.
That's true, actually. Everyone's just like, you need to get to that point and then you'll become this amazing version. But it's just like, okay, once you're at the point of like awareness, where do I go now?
How?
Yeah.
Like, tell me the how.
The why. Well,
right?
you know the why, but
exactly.
why? What's the
What's the
how?
What's the strategy? Like, what's the breakthrough? Right? So this is what we do. This is the inspired action. It's called the work. You've got to do the work. So when people are like, oh, well, you know, I've got to do the inner work. What does that look like? Man, that can look like so many different things for so many people.
Yeah.
You can do the work inside a new relationship where you're learning to be in your healed feminine. You can do the work solo.
Yeah.
It depends how God wants you to really reveal your light. Are you going to call in another person that's going to reflect your old limitations or your higher standards? And how are you going to react from that?
And that's a big word there was God, right? Because if you're like not really focused on God, and God could be many different things to different people.
A higher power.
This is just a higher power or someone that you believe is like something higher than yourself.
Yeah.
Right? If you never actually come to the point of knowing that there is that, then it's very, I believe it's very hard to do the work.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You have to
that's
meet.
infinite love, right?
Yeah. You have to meet them or him, whatever you want to call it, at that low point.
Yeah. If you deny infinite abundant love, how could you ever meet yourself in love?
Exactly. Because the world was built on love.
Exactly.
And that will always come. Like God will always come when you need him. The universe will always provide when you're at your lowest point. And if you choose to keep ignoring it, even at your lowest, like you're never going to change.
Well, there's a caveat to that. The universe, God will always provide at your lowest as long as you're willing to do the work to make sure that you don't experience that again.
Yeah.
Because God will not provide for those who wallow in their lowest.
Yeah, that's true.
That's devil behavior.
Yeah. Or if you, I mean, like maybe he tried and you denied. So like he, you know.
Exactly. So that there's no willingness if you deny it.
Yeah.
Right? You can't deny that. So the work for me specifically was a lot. It looked like podcasts and books and mentorships and programs and one-to-one and talk therapy and human design and numerology and astrology and kinesiology and Reiki.
All the ologies.
NLP, timeline therapy, ayahuasca, mushrooms. I did everything.
Everything.
It's
crazy.
So this is why I get to talk.
You have a lot of knowledge.
And helping because I've lived through the work. And it's like a lot of it was really hard. Yeah. Really hard to face. And the work also includes breaking up with people who are bad for you.
Yes. This is such a big thing. Like friendships that you know don't serve you. Even family, or especially your relationships, right? Like
your job,
These are things that are such safety blankets to everyone. Your biggest comfort. Sometimes you got to cut them. Otherwise, you're never, ever, ever going to see change. You're never going to evolve. You're just going to stay in your little bubble, right? And your life's never going to change. But I mean, I guess to like a beginner in all this, because that does sound very overwhelming. Like, how do you find the thing that will move the needle for you?
Like what therapy I would choose first? I always recommend kinesiology.
What is kinesiology?
This is like somatic energy healing. So it's unblocking your chakras in your body and allowing your meridian lines, that carries your chi, which is your life force, to move things around. And so you have to think, I'm always connected. You're always connected with energy to God. Yeah. Always. Yeah. But if this is blocked, God can't talk to you.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
This is why people are like, I don't hear God. Because you're completely blocked.
Right. So could you do like Reiki? Yeah.
I recommend kinesiology as the first bit after you do some meditation.
Yeah.
So learning to sit with yourself in silence first.
I think that's the easiest thing for someone just getting into this as well, because you don't need any tools, any resources. It
doesn't cost any money.
Yeah, you can just do it yourself.
But you know, it's funny you say easiest, but for a lot of people, it's so hard to sit in silence.
Sorry, not easiest, it's simplest to start.
Right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people think, oh yeah, some meditation. They sit.
No, it's so hard. Yeah.
Like 1 minute's gone past.
I've tried.
I need silence. I need music. I need
I've only ever really meditated with like guided and there's been sounds and stuff like hertz or music. And then when I met this Buddhist guy, he was like, no, you should do it in silence. And you got to learn to sit in silence. And you got to sit on this wooden floor with this your back straight. And I'm like, huh?
Oh, you definitely don't need to.
No, he was doing the most.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to be on a wooden floor with your back straight.
Yeah, I was going to like retreats and not speaking for 30 days. I was like, this is next level for me.
Extremism
meditation. It was very extreme. So I did some and I found it really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I still need to work on, is having like no noise and being able to sit and be patient and not think, what am I missing out on right now by just sitting here with nothing? Like my mind's always like, what can I think about? what things are happening, what's external,
Yeah.
when really I should be going internal and just like
Yeah.
sitting with myself.
Because that's a distraction. That's the ego self being like, let me distract, because you know that you're going to meet yourself in silence. And do you actually know who you're going to meet if you give it enough time?
That's so true.
Right? Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Right? So I would start with meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say people need to start with silent meditation at all, because a lot of people won't be able to start with that.
Yeah.
So put in some 432 hertz
Hertz,
music.
yeah.
Put on some guided meditation with some speaking. Some flute is really nice. Like
yeah,
wind.
Yeah,
wind
I love
instruments
that
really nice.
Chinese sounds.
So nice.
Yeah.
And then like work your way up to
Yeah.
silence. And then once you start to sit with yourself, you start to ask yourself some internal questions.
Mm.
Where am I not loving myself in my life? Where am I self-abandoning? Right? What is my reality reflecting to me?
Mm.
And then you start looking at those areas and you start making conscious moves to change those things.
Yeah.
Then you go in and book in with kinesiology, do some energy work, release some things out of your body.
Yeah.
Right? But then you've also got to take that inspired action. And that's where you said like change is hard. That's breaking up with the person.
Yeah.
That's putting in your resignation letter. That's starting the business. That's leaving the town.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And every time you do that though, you prove to yourself that you're doing it for you.
Yeah.
And that's how you start to build your self-love.
100%. It's doing things for you and not anyone else, and not just not worrying about what anyone else says.
Yeah.
Like it will be the hardest thing, but it'll also be like the most rewarding thing at the same time.
Yeah.
Like scary doesn't mean easy, but scary means growth, and growth
Exactly.
is the only thing that's actually going to get us closer to that self-love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like if you keep talking about that you just want to be with your soulmate and you want to have kids and you want to have this beautiful business and you want to have community, that's only going to come like in its truest form. So you're not bringing in another lesson, right? That you're going to have to divorce 30 years later.
Oh, goodness me.
Exactly. That's only going to come when you go internal, you figure out how to fill up your own cup,
Yeah.
love yourself, stick to your standards, and consistently move the needle even when it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's the work.
Yeah. The uncomfort's really, really crazy. Even like I noticed that I was doing it like towards the end of my last job. You know what I mean? I was like so comfortable. I was like, oh, I could do this with my eyes shut.
Yeah, you're like, it's just easy.
I know, it's easy. And then it's like, even though like what I'm doing now would be like way harder, way more taxing, like I know that it's like still shaping me in a way.
It is.
And it's freaking uncomfortable. And it's a lot of pressure on my shoulders and overwhelming. But I'm like, it's done now.
It's expanding your nervous system.
Yeah.
Because then you look back and be like, oh, easy.
Right. And I was so like anxious to like take that step, I think, because I was just like, oh, I've got too much pressure.
Yeah.
Like I'm coming in and I have like a lot of expectation. But now I'm like, screw it, I don't care.
But that's the thing. But you do it though. And
Yeah,
then
you
you
do
prove
it,
to yourself
yeah.
that you can do the hard thing.
Yeah.
That you can do the uncomfortable thing. So then next time you get a bigger blessing from
Yeah,
God. Because
yeah.
you're like, oh, I did it. I did it even though I was scared and nervous and anxious. And I
Yeah.
did it. And I love myself for that.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you do those hard things, the most important thing is to then pour that self-love back into you. It's like, I love myself. That was really scary, but I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah. The positive self-talk I really got to work on. I feel like even just looking in the mirror and seeing a nice thing on your face, like when you look in the mirror, like what do you
Instead
find
of criticizing.
Yeah. What do you find beautiful internally? What do you find beautiful?
Yeah.
Like what are your values? What do you want from your man? Like all these things are just really nice to do for even 5 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Just look in the mirror
Absolutely.
and say that stuff.
That's part of the work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's part of the work. A lot of people can't even meet themselves in the eyes.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Like the first time I did it in the mirror, I was like really like, what am I doing?
Right. It's uncomfortable. You want to look away.
And I couldn't help but notice the flaws. And so it does take a while and you do have to keep doing it.
Yep.
And you have to keep being like, no, I love myself. Or like when you're freaking out internally, you just have to like do what you do. Like say like, I know that there's certain emotions in my energy that like
But not
are here,
identify
but
with
yeah,
it.
you don't identify with them. And it can take a while and your nervous system will be feeling like a roller coaster at times. But you know that you're always evolving.
Yeah. But
And
then-
things are going to go backwards, obviously. But it's like, how do you cope with those?
Yes.
Yeah.
How
Not
do you
everything's
cope with
going
that
to
test.
not everything's going to be smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it can feel like that for a while and then you're like, oh, like life is pretty cruisy right now.
Yeah.
And then it's like, boom,
Yeah.
everything can shake you up. And it's like, how are you going to act in those moments to show that you have grown?
But then look what comes out the other end.
Exactly right.
You end up attracting a king who wants to take care of you. You end up attracting the business of your dreams. You end up attracting and living in the lifestyle that you always said that you wanted to have.
Exactly.
You end up feeling amazing in your body.
Yeah.
And that all comes from loving yourself first
Yeah.
and doing the work.
Exactly.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I think we leave it there for part
Yeah,
one. That's
I love
beautiful.
that. Oh my gosh, part 2 pending, girls.
Go drop some love in the comments and then go drop
Yeah.
some love in the eyeballs in the mirror for yourself.
Absolutely, do it. Look in the mirror.
All right, well, we love you.
Yeah.
Bye.